Well, welcome everyone, and it is a pleasure to be with you. And it is again the Ask Me Anything session, the monthly update of Hill Helicopters. We are so anxious to hear more of this update that we'll be hearing every single month, and it's great to have people connecting from all over the world. All the continents are here represented usually, and this is going to be again what's going to happen today.
We have some pretty exciting things in store for you guys. I think you're going to be really excited about this one. As we always do, we're going to switch over to the AMA session. So AMA stands for Ask Me Anything, and Jason's open to any questions that you guys might have. So without further ado, we want to pass the time over to Dr. Jason Hill, the founder of Hill Helicopters. Go ahead, Jason.
Thank you, Misha. Thank you, Ruben, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to DC1. We've got a fantastic presentation for you this evening. We're going to focus primarily on composites this evening because we've had an amazing run with our composite development over the last couple of months or so. So that's the primary focus. I'll give you a bit of an update on the engine and drivetrain. We'll talk briefly about the digital cockpit, and then there's some more exciting news about the evolution of our production facility. It's only been around 18 months since we took the bold decision to make the main structure of HX50 in a single piece. We've pulled together a range of technologies from lots of different industries involved in composite production. Down at DC2 and DC3, we can make all of the elements that go into producing an aerospace-grade composite structure in-house, ourselves, at the price point that enables what we're trying to do. The molds that we've got are essentially made in 5 giant pieces. Inside, what you can see is we've generated a much smoother surface, and this is the surface that transfers directly onto the part. With the infusion complete, we then demold it, and then that reveals the very first HX50 fuselage. So let's go and take a look at what it looks like. We've managed to build the very first HX50 fuselage. Now, we promised you that we would build you a proper helicopter, and this is a proper helicopter. From nose to tail, it's just under 10 meters, well, just over 10 meters if you go to the tip of the tail. So it's much bigger than what you're used to. And so what we've done very crudely before we tool up all of these additional composite components is used a lot of rapid prototyping hardware just to produce the center console, rapid prototype stick heads, representations of the monitors and the wolf's head that gives you the down angle, just to prove that all of these things work the way we intended them to. We've also got the actual switches. Again, these are only rapid prototyped covers, just to check the size and the function of them. So I know we've got a number of golfers in the customer community, and just to assure you that getting multiple sets of golf bags in the baggage bay won't be a problem. And of course, for long, thin things, you can load all the way up into the bulkhead for the tail boom. And then similarly, this is a full-size suitcase, and you can easily get 3 of those through the door and back again, and there's plenty of room left on the other side to spare. So this really is genuinely a very large helicopter. The GT50 engine has been progressing equally quickly. We're currently optimizing the new annular combustor that will run on both conventional and synthetic biofuels, and we're just in the final stages now of completing the aerodynamic optimization of that single stage turbine. This engine conforms to the very latest standards of JAR Part E and FAR Part 37. If you look at the new gas generator itself, this embodies the very latest air blast atomized fuel injectors. So Mark and his team have been busily taking the actual super alloys that we need to use to produce these components and producing turbine blades in the correct materials. And over the last few weeks, we've perfected the process of machining these things from solid. So we're in a position now where not only can we produce the prototype titanium compressor, but also the turbine blades, and very shortly the sheet metal work that's required for the combustor will follow suit. In other news, you're aware that we've been working on our in-house bearings for some time now. We produced the very first internally manufactured hill bearing. This is actually the most difficult one to manufacture in the entire engine. You've all followed the progress that we've made on manufacturing our own in-house gears. The very next step is then to harden these teeth. We only want to heat treat the teeth. Okay, we don't want the structural part of the gear and the root material to be hardened, because if it was, it would become brittle and it would have a poor fatigue life and a poor fracture toughness. Okay, so let's briefly talk about the digital cockpit. Now we've established the inertias, now we've got formal aerodynamic design established for the aircraft, and that then allows us to develop the way that the two-axis autopilot will deliver stability augmentation, the altitude, heading, speed and navigation hold functions, and the haptic feedback to provide a degree of envelope protection, haptic power management, and then also for those of you that will opt for the four-axis autopilot, how we provide additional support to make the aircraft even easier to fly. In other news on the Digi cockpit, it's really important, as you've seen with the HF mock-up that we're going to be building in the first fuselage, that we get every single detail right about this helicopter. Every single part of it has to be fit for purpose, has to be properly optimized. The things that we have to make sure that we get right is that every way that you interact or touch the aircraft needs to have a premium feel. So even silly things like the feel of a click or the notchiness of the puck as it indexes around the encoder is really, really important. With the large demand for the aircraft, that's putting a significant pressure on us to make sure that our production facility is ready and that it's capable of scaling up to deliver the number of helicopters that we need to in the time frame that we need to. We've been pushing through all of the planning applications that are required. There's 3 in total. They've all gone in and been submitted and are now awaiting a decision from the local government. So with all these exciting things going on within the company, it should be no surprise to anybody that sales remain strong. And as I sit here at the moment, we've currently sold 692 helicopters.
We've got lots of questions that have come in. I just want to remind you guys as well, if you haven't posted a question yet in the chat, feel free to go ahead and do that now. And we're going to go over hopefully all of those today. Okay, next question is from Mark. When will you first run the engine?
The target is March next year. So we've put a window on that of March to June. We're on track for that as we stand at the moment.
All right, and Don is asking, how many gallons does the fuel tank hold?
175 US. So that's 5 hours at maximum continuous power.
Excellent. Nice and easy on that one. Jonathan is asking, is there anything being done, this is an interesting question actually, with the carbon pieces that are being cut out from the monologue after the molding? And he says, hill luggage perhaps?
Well, there's a very good technical answer to that. It's perhaps not the one you wanted, but in the production version of this airframe, rather than those panels flowing with the curbs of the aircraft, we'll actually make those slab-sided flat panels, and we'll cut coupons out of each of those from each airframe, so we can test the integrity of the carbon fiber on every airframe in a bunch of different directions.
Thank you everybody for attending today. It was really good to have all you guys' questions as well, and thanks a lot to Jason again for his openness and willingness to be able to answer those questions for everybody live here. So really appreciate that.
And thank you from me to everyone for joining the session and following this journey as we bring HX50 to market. Thank you, guys.